And they won't get this one. Deeper fences or not, it's gone.
When it all comes down to the final round, I'll be right here on the sill. Can't move, no boys, gonna make some noise and give this crowd a thrill. So raise that flag, sing that song, and throw me out a brand new ball. Yeah, there's nowhere I'd rather be than back home in Omaha. Back home in Omaha.
Welcome back to Omaha, Nebraska. It's Elimination Day at the College World Series. Tonight, the Stanford Cardinal faces off against the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Stanford knocked off Notre Dame earlier in the tournament. Let's recap the field and see where we stand 5 days into the College World Series. In bracket 1, Nebraska has already been eliminated. This afternoon, South Carolina knocked off Georgia Tech, sending the Yellow Jackets home. Clemson awaits USC tomorrow night. In bracket 2, Rice was eliminated thanks to Notre Dame's dramatic ninth-inning win. Meanwhile, Stanford lost to Texas, giving the Longhorns 2 days to prepare for tonight's winner. Good evening, everybody. I'm Mike Patrick along with Harold Reynolds. It's great to have you with us from the College World Series. For Stanford, this is unfamiliar territory. Since 1999 under Mark Marquis, they have never lost before the championship game. So what is their key tonight?
Well, you would think with Stanford we'd start talking about their pitching. That is not it. This is an offense that was really sputtered towards the end of the season through the Super Regionals, but they got here. And these three guys at the top of the order have really been the table setters for this club, and that's where they've got the most production. They need to get it all the way through the lineup to be successful tonight.
Paul Maneri's Notre Dame club believes in the leadoff hitter setting the tone, and they have a prototype leadoff hitter and then some, the senior Stanley in center field.
He may be the most exciting player in college baseball. Only 5'7", he's just a spark plug. This big triple the other day when the game extended in the late innings. But I love the way he comes. He's got such a heart and a desire. Second-round draft pick, the Oakland Athletics. And Mike, he is playing his 256 consecutive games. He's played every game since he's been at Notre Dame.
There should be plenty of drama tonight as these teams play to fight yet another day in Omaha. As you might be able to tell, everyone has a different approach when it's do or die. The starting laps and the first pitch coming up from the College World Series after this.
ESPN2's presentation of the NCAA College World Series is brought to you by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun.
We're in Omaha, Nebraska at the College World Series, standing by for Stanford and Notre Dame. But first, to our colleague, Dave Ryan. David.
Mike, thanks so much. Brian Stavisky, the left fielder of Notre Dame, hit a game-winning walk-off homer against Rice yesterday. The second time in his Irish career he's done that. He also did it against Rutgers last year. In the ninth inning, with all the season on the line for the Irish, he saw a slider and drove it out of the ballpark. He told me a few moments ago, by far the biggest home run he's ever hit in his career. And guys, maybe even a more amazing that he's able to get the ball out of the ballpark. For the first time since early April, when he was hit by a pitch, he played and hit without this specially made helmet. It's actually got a football face mask on it. The reason he couldn't play with it yesterday, got a crack on it. So he had to go back to the regular helmet. March 28th against West Virginia, he was hit by a pitch, fractured cheekbone, some bones around his eye as well. And probably the reason he had a lot of success, Mike, when he was hitting with this, he was a quarterback in high school.
Yeah, that'd do it. That would do it. And certainly very happy for him to be able to come back like that. Stanford's head coach Mark Marquis now in his 26th year at the helm of the Cardinal. He's led them to the College World Series 4 consecutive years, to the championship game the last 2. He's also won 2 other national titles. Here's the lineup he sends out tonight against Notre Dame.
Chris Carter, Walnut Creek, California, human biology major.
Sam Full, Durham, New Hampshire. My favorite player is Lou Merlone.
Ryan Garco, Walnut, California. Favorite player, Bobby Estelea.
Jason Cooper from Moses Lake, Washington.
Chris Reardon, San Diego, California. My favorite singer is Elton John.
Carlos Quentin from Chula Vista, California.
Scott Dragicevich. I'm from Westlake Village, California. My favorite show is Baseball Tonight.
My name's Eric Van Zandt. I'm from Bellevue, Washington. People I know and even people I don't know call me the Killer.
Andy Topham, Sacramento, California. Favorite baseball players are Ruben Sierra and Eric Chavez.
That's Paul Maneri, now in his 8th year at Notre Dame. During that stretch, the Irish have never won less than 40. This year, they've won 50 for the first time ever. And his starter out of Buffalo Grove, Illinois, a junior, 6'3", 215, the right-hander, Peter Ogilvie.
Well, let's set the Notre Dame defense. Ogilvie will show you a little bit of a get-me-over curveball, but really a fastball, going to pitch off his fastball. But defensively, I mean, who else can you go with, Mike? The man in the center, Steve Stanley, he makes some incredible plays. The range of this young guy, it's going to be fun to watch him. You're going to be entertained tonight, so pay attention.
He has made some remarkable plays out here in Omaha. Let's take a look at the umpiring crew. Jim Garman will be behind the plate with him. A.J. Lostaglio at first, John Magnuson down at second base, and Perry Costello patrolling third. And the umpire cam, the hat cam, is out at second base. We've gotten some tremendous looks from that. You get the exact view that the umpire does. And it's very kind of those guys to put themselves, to expose themselves by wearing that camera.
You're not kidding. That's a pretty brave move. They get questioned enough as it is, and now it's right there on top of them. See what they're seeing.
Stanford and Notre Dame, two of the schools in the country with the proudest history of overall athletic programs. Stanford so used to coming out here as Chris Carter will lead it off. And Notre Dame making a rare appearance, but it won't be rare after this. You get the feeling that these guys will be coming back season after season just the way that Stanford has. Carter, a 286 hitter, not a prototypical leadoff guy, moved to the top of the order against right-handers a month ago, has power. And chops this one through the hole for a base hit.
We waste no time jumping on that first pitch fastball. And if you're the leadoff guy, you're sitting on one pitch, and if you get it, you better get a hit, because the rest of the team is looking at you going, what are you swinging at the first pitch for if you go out? Well, there it is, top of the order. We talked about 1, 2, and 3. They've already started the damage.
And we mentioned not being a prototypical leadoff guy. Carter down at first has 1 steal in 1 attempt this year. Fold and Garco are next. Fold has played well all year, and these are the 2 guys that are on fire here in Omaha. Fold hitting .400 for the College World Series. Garco behind him, even better. So this is the dangerous part of Stanford's lineup.
You put a hitter in this ballpark and he feels that he can go into the seats. Now his whole swing becomes more aggressive, and I think that's one of the reasons we're seeing such great success out of these top 3.
This one's hit to left. The wind's blowing that way. Going back, Stavisky to the wall. It's gone. And that quick, Stanford has grabbed a 2-0 lead as Fold hits his 8th home run of the year. 3 pitches, 2 runs, Harold.
Well, that's exactly what I was just saying, is that you put a guy at the plate where he feels like there's no part of the ballpark that can hold you. The wind is gusting to left field. That was a pop out. That's a foul. That's a fly out. He misses it. He's running hard, but he knows it's not going to go out of the ballpark. And then it just took off. You see the left fielder stop, and then that's where you know the ball took off on him. But as a hitter, you get in a park where you feel like I can go into the seats. You're going to have aggressive swing.
At least 15 miles to left, the traditional wind here at Omaha, the prevailing winds, which we did not have the first 4 days of the College World Series. And now Ryan Garco is hitting .555 for his career in the College World Series. He has just pounded it every time he's gotten to Omaha. Hits this one to right center field, another base hit.
Ogilvie's got to be wondering what in the world is going on. I throw my fastball, guy hits it to right, then a home run to opposite field, and now I throw my breaking pitch, and it's a base hit the other way up the right center field. They're on everything.
He had a tough outing last weekend in the Super Regional against FSU. He could not get out of the first inning, and right now he's having a struggle trying to get out of the first inning. A third of an inning against the Seminoles in Tallahassee. 3 hits, 4 walks, and 7 runs. Right now, what? He's thrown 4 pitches, and we have 2 singles and a home run.
He may not have that much rope tonight, though. An elimination game, you're going to get to that bullpen as quick as you can.
I think it's more like a noose right now. That was only the 3rd home run that Ogilvy has allowed in his career. He'd been very good about not letting people get it up in the air, but when it gets up in a jet stream out here. Now Cooper, a runner on, nobody out. And Cooper hits it hard but foul. Look out down in the right field seats. There hasn't been any mystery so far, has there?
He's not tricking them, that's for sure. But he does have the ability to throw every pitch in his repertoire for strikes at any time, and that is a big advantage for a pitcher. But he just hasn't been able to have stuff that they have not caught up to.
Cooper was a 2nd-round pick out of high school. He was the highest draft choice not to sign and to go to college, and he's a 3rd-round pick this year by the Cleveland Indians. Got power, 13 home runs, hitting .350, driven in 55. He and Garco are tied for the team lead in that department. And Fold just jacked his 8th out of here to give Stanford that 2-run lead. Crowd hasn't even settled in yet. High with the ball, 1-2. And the Irish and Ogilvy know that out here with the wind blowing out and aluminum bats, these tend to be long games. 2 runs is probably not going to decide it for you. So you just have to settle down and try to get out of the 1st inning without any more damage. Where Stanford is thinking, let's just try to put these guys away in the 1st and take them out of their game, which is what they did the 1st time. You get a big lead on somebody, they can't run, they can't hit and run, they can't sacrifice.
And that's exactly what Coach Marcus talked about this morning. We want to get some points up early and take them out of the running game, because Notre Dame is a team that likes to hit and run, steal, do a lot of different things like that.
Fouled off the end of the bat.
The interesting thing, Mike, I'm sorry to cut you off, is that they haven't got anybody up in the bullpen yet. So he may have a little longer rope than expected.
Delightful talking to Paul Maneri this morning.
Yeah.
Done a wonderful job up there. A cold weather school to have this kind of success. Hats are off to him. Swing and a miss. 1st out of the inning.
Well, that's what happens when you're able to throw all your pitches for strikes. You can take it out of the zone and make a hitter chase it. And right here, this is a breaking pitch that gets out of the zone. He wasn't able to catch up to it, and maybe that's one of the reasons they're staying with him, hoping that he can wiggle out of it.
Just try to settle him down.
So the biggest problem in the game against Florida State is he had 4 walks in that 1st inning. Throwing strikes, they'll stay with you a little longer.
Yeah. Chris O'Riordan, originally a walk-on at Stanford. He has gone from a guy who could not get a scholarship to someone who was an 8th-round draft choice by the Texas Rangers. He started 174 straight games for the Stanford Cardinal, and they are extremely proud of him and how hard he has worked to develop as a baseball player. And the payoff is going to come with that draft, and hopefully he is hoping for a national championship.
Yeah, that's a great story. A lot of you kids out there wondering, am I going to get an opportunity to fulfill my dream? Well, he's a perfect example. Talking with Coach Marcus today, asking him who are you going to miss. He said, you know, just Chris Reardon with the way of being a walk-on and the way he's worked his way through it.
And he's really so proud of all of his seniors, because when they came to Stanford, none of them stepped into the starting lineup right away. They all had to wait 1, some even 2 years, and worked very, very hard, didn't whine about it, and eventually got their chance to play, and they have all succeeded.
That's real hard to do, sit on the bench.
Yes, sir. 2-1 to Chris O'Riordan. Checking throw to 1st.
If we haven't said it tonight, Stanford has 6 seniors on their team. The whole 4 infielders. They've all been together for 4 years, obviously. Been here to Omaha 4 straight years. Amazing.
Have permanent reservations out here. Ooh. Breaking pitch must have been just high, and it's 3-1. O'Riordan hitting .329 coming into the game. Ogilvie making his 17th start. Already allowed 2 runs on a homer and 3 hits here in the inning. Fastball in the corner, pretty pitch there, 3-2.
Well, he's really nibbling and hitting his spots, and O'Riordan is a very aggressive hitter. He likes to swing early in the count, so if he's showing this kind of patience, obviously he is not getting anything that is very hittable when he's been in great counts.
The 3-2 with Carlos Quentin on deck. Instead, the throw over. Garco had to dive back. The catcher does not have great speed over at first.
And if you were watching Garco, he extended his lead and started chopping his steps. So obviously, it's going to tell the pitcher to throw over.
Garco runs, and the pitch is fouled off.
So that's a lot of confidence in O'Riordan, really, because you know Garco's not going to make it on a straight steal if he swings and misses.
No, if O'Riordan doesn't make contact, Garco's going, uh-oh, halfway down there. And there's the Stanford senior class. O'Riordan, Toppin, Van Zandt, Vergisevich, Rich, and Wilcox. Rich would probably be the first guy out of the bullpen tonight. He has not had an opportunity to play out here in Omaha. Another 3-2 hit towards short. Still may be able to get the force in second. And Sanchez does and goes on to first. Hit sharply enough so that even with Garco running, he couldn't beat the speedy Sanchez to second base. So Notre Dame gets out without any more damage. But Sam Bull sets the tone for the Stanford Cardinal with a 2-run homer in the top of the first.
Wow, that was a pretty double play.
Welcome back after a half inning here. 2-0 Stanford. The Irish have scored 8 runs in 2 games. They've managed just 4 extra base hits at the College World Series. 2 of those came yesterday in the 9th when they really needed them, when that dramatic win over Rice. Here's the lineup that they'll send out tonight.
Steve Stanley, Columbus, Ohio, and I'd like to say hello to my wonderful wife, Brooke.
Steve Solomon, Cincinnati, Ohio.
Brian Sisky, Fort Allegheny, Pennsylvania. And I model myself after players like Sean Green and Todd Helton.
Andrew Bushy, I'm from Youngstown, Ohio, and my nickname is Shrub.
I'm Paul O'Toole from Cleveland, Ohio, home of the 2002 state champs, St. Ignatius Wildcats.
Hi, I'm Matt Bach from West Akron, Ohio. I'm an economics major and a Libra. I enjoy wildlife photography. Touchdown Brown. Chris Vilmar, Woodinville, Washington. Everybody calls me Billy.
I'm Javi Sanchez from Miami, Florida, and my buddies call me Hollywood.
I'm Joe Thaman from St. Louis, Missouri, and nobody calls Javi Hollywood.
When Joe hits 9th behind Javi, he gets the last word, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
There's John Hudgens, 6'2", 195, a sophomore right-hander. He's out of Mission Viejo, California, and he will be the Stanford starter. 9-1 this year. Surprising ERA of 4.80, more hits than innings, and he struck out 62 in almost 100 innings pitched. Stanley to lead it off. This guy is electric. 437 on the season. Little guy, 5'8", 155, and there is still room in baseball for somebody who's 5'8", 155 if they've got the tools, and Stanley does. He's a good bunter. He'll get on any way he can.
It looked like he was going to bring that one towards second base on that, just pulling one with him. He does so many things to create havoc, and the pitchers are well aware of that. There's 2 pitches right there that can't throw a strike to him because they try too hard to lay one in.
Oakland drafted him in the 2nd round this year, so you know how well thought of he is. And in 20 years of coaching, Paul Maneri says he is the best player I have coached, and that's his wife, Brooke. He's the only married player on the Notre Dame team. And they are looking forward to going and playing minor league baseball as soon as the College World Series is over. I believe they're going to Vancouver.
Yeah, he's going to be a great pro.
Yes, he will.
The work ethic he has day in and day out, obviously, is very durable. 56 consecutive games he's played in college.
And he's a great defensive outfielder. Smoked into right, base hit. That 439 average will go up, and the table setter is on.
Well, they liken him to Brett Butler. He does that. Well, let's look at the Stanford defense. Sam Fold has really been outstanding, but really the infield, all seniors, the experience, you watched how these guys play together and the decision-making they have. When you get used to playing with your teammates for that long a period of time, it becomes routine to be able to make plays with.
Absolutely. Steve Solman stands in at 368 against Hudgens, and he lofts it to high right center. Fold gets over there, calls off Quinton for the first down, and Stanley really had to hustle to get back.
Well, he had that bag standing up if he didn't swing right there.
Brian Stavisky, he was the hero. 9th inning, a runner aboard in a 3-3 game. Notre Dame eliminates Rice. That was after Stanley had a triple and was driven in to tie the ball game, and he hit that into the wind, and it got out, so he really ripped it. Stavisky out of Port Allegheny, Pennsylvania. 397 hitter. And the starting left fielder. Fastball is outside from John Hudgens.
You know, a thought with drafting players that are from cold weather climates is their growth is so much far ahead of them still. They haven't got a chance to play that many games and develop like a lot of kids in Florida and California, Arizona. They've played a lot of baseball their whole life, but when you live in a cold weather climate, you still don't know what you're capable of doing because you haven't played that many games yet. And it's a great draft pick when you get a guy out of a cold weather climate.
And South Bend qualifies.
Yes, it does.
Another thrower. This one gets away, but I don't think far enough. Good cover by O'Riordan as he backs up Van Zandt.
What's so impressive about Stanley's 256 game consecutive played is the style of game he plays.
Yeah, he runs into walls.
Runs into walls, and he's going to get banged up, diving back into first, things like that, sliding. It's a lot more on your body than standing out there in the outfield and just slugging.
2-0 to Stavisky. Hudgens may not be as sharp as he normally would be. Hasn't pitched since the regional, as Stanford swept through the super regional, and they didn't need him. And he has given up a lot of long balls this year. 17 home runs in less than 100 innings pitched. So he's been touched for nearly 2 a game.
Wow. He's leaving a lot of balls out over the plate.
(3-0) to Stavisky. Had the green light and fouled it back.
Well, it's interesting because he got to 2-0 because they pitched out on 1-0 on Stanley. So then 2-0 he's sitting on a pitch. 3-0, obviously he was sitting on a pitch to swing at right there. He's swinging again right here, 3-1. I wouldn't be surprised if Stanley's not moving right here in this situation either.
Stanley has stolen 31 of 39 this year. They're thinking the same thing and go back to first again. Van Zandt applies the tag, but too late.
It's a great situation for a left-handed hitter. He's got the hole. He's going to get a fastball because you got a guy that can run. And if you hit one in the gap, he's going to score.
Runner goes, swing and a miss. There's the throw, and that's going to go into center field. Stanley is on his way to third. The throw from Fold. Good throw, but not in time. Speed does it again.
Well, you wonder, why does the guy run on a 3-1 count? Because of things like that. Now all of a sudden you get a swing and a miss on a great swing on a 3-1 swing, and you end up with the runner at third base, and you still got a pitch to work with. Good explosion, stays down. You see how he looked immediately to the outfield. He slides in and looks to the outfield. You make your own judgment, but that all comes with practice. That's a fundamental, sliding in and looking to the outfield to be able to pick up the ball yourself.
Stolen base and an error on the throw, and Stanley is going to score as Stavisky grounds out. So they manufacture the run there. A single, a stolen base, a throwing error allows him to third and a ground out.
That's baseball right there. That was a clinic, people, a clinic. And that's one thing that Notre Dame did this year that really brought them together as a group. They gave up the individual game for the team concept, and they came together as a club, and that's why they're here.
A lot of people may not realize the Irish started 9-10 as they had multiple injuries on this team and were really just trying to survive. Paul Maneri and his coaching staff said they were surprised they had won 9 of the first 19, as many guys as they had injured. And then they said, look, we've just got to do things to sacrifice for each other. And even their big-time hitters started laying down sacrifice bunts and pushing the ball to the other side to get runners over. Any way to try to win a ball game. And I think it really brought them together.
It does. It just, when it becomes a team thing, you lose as a team, you win as a team, it makes you want to come to the ballpark and play.
Makes you want to go watch Major League again, doesn't it? Bushy fouls one off. Andrew, a 329 here. 15th round draft choice this year, the Rockies. Notre Dame just being here is an amazing story with the cold weather situation. Their first appearance in 45 years. This one's fouled back. And Paul Maneri deflected some of the credit this morning when we were talking to him. He said, well, it's a little easier to recruit at Notre Dame. Well, it wasn't easier for the last 45 years because they didn't get here. And he deserves the credit for it. The football team has not had as many good recruits as he has. Fastball hit to straightaway center. Full, retreats a couple of steps, has to reach up and makes the catch. Notre Dame gets one back, but Stanford leads it 2-1 after one full inning of play. And the key, the leadoff man, Steve Stanley, as always.
Stanford! Notre Dame! Last chance to advance.
And the pitch is coming slow. There's a drive to left center field. Hello, goodbye. Stanford knocking off the Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
Back in Omaha, Stanford did win the first game, 4-3. Guthrie had a complete game. The 1-through-4 hitters went 5 through 16, and Sanchez for Notre Dame provided the only offense, a 3-run homer. That got them to within one, but they couldn't get any closer.
One thing Notre Dame walked away from that game knowing is that they will not see another pitcher like that again. And the next two games, that game and this one here, they have not. So.
A couple of beach balls loose on the field, so the outfielders collecting them and throwing them back in the stands. And Quentin out of Chula Vista, California, sophomore, will lead it off in the second inning. Stanford with 3 hits in the first, 1 a home run, and now a 2-1 lead.
If I'm a right-hand hitter and I saw that opposite field home run that Fold hit get in the wind and carry out of here, you might see some right-handers trying to spin on some balls tonight.
Like that?
Like that.
That's way back. They'd have to move the fences back another 40 feet next year to keep that one in the ballpark. Carlos Quentin with his 12th home run, the second in the game off of Ogilvie.
That ball's going wind or no wind. That was tattooed. That was that get-ahead curveball. I remember back in the college days, you had a get-ahead little fastball and get-ahead curveball. This one here is just right there, and he knew it. Great follow through, good swing. This ball's actually on the outside half, and he jerked it.
Quentin's 12th of the year. His reputation is as a bad ball hitter. That was not. That was a strike, breaking ball over the outside part, and he just drilled it. Ogilvie had only allowed 2 home runs coming in. He's given up 2 already in the first 2 innings of this game. And now Scott Dragicevic stands in, and Dragicevic takes a big swing and fouls one back.
Dragicevic is an interesting story, too. He was the shortstop last couple of years, really, at Stanford, and then beginning of the year this year, he struggled, and they flip-flop top him, and Dragicevic put him at third, and he started hitting the ball again.
This one's in the air to right. Bill Meyer makes the catch, one gone. And Notre Dame already with action in 10. John Axford. Got a chance to pitch in the Super Regional against Florida State. Ogilvy, as we said, 2 homers allowed in 125 2/3. Been very good at keeping in the park. Tonight he's already allowed 2. Check swing by Andy Topham on the inside part of the plate when he went around, called strike 1.
A couple things with that graphic right there is one, when you get to Omaha, you're going to see great hitters. And secondly, the ballpark is going to favor hitters also. So it
with this wind, for sure.
Yes, indeed.
When LSU decided it was going to play gorilla ball under Skip Bertman, and the wind would be blowing like this, and they would bring out those right-handed hitters that looked like they were off of LSU's football team. I mean, they were just licking their chops to get here and launch, and that they did.
I like that little wind graphic there. You see that? Oh, like that too. Bring that up here.
Harold is, you know, you ought to be on the side of the road, you know, with a sign that says, I will speak publicly for food. Hit back up the middle. Solman, nice play. And throws him out. A run in and 2 gone here in the second inning.
I really like how he set himself up here. He knew the runner and got on top of it and made a nice throw. The key to playing defense is you got to know who your runners are. Right here, he doesn't rush. He knows exactly who's running, how long I got to get the ball over there, and got him out in a step and a half.
Van Zandt makes the second out on a ground out, and Andy Topham goes after the first pitch and fouls it back. Topham, a 292 hitter. Taken in the 9th round by Houston this year. Breaking ball from Ogilvy hangs inside.
Seems like every player has been drafted. Well, 50 players were drafted that participated here in the College World Series out of the potential 200 players. That's pretty
good.
Pretty good.
Hit down toward third. Bushy comes up and throws across. 3 routine outs and a home run from Carlos Quentin. It's 3-1 Stanford.
Elimination game. Stanford and Notre Dame at the College World Series, a rematch from earlier in this CWS. The Cardinal has the lead. Mike and Harold were talking about how Notre Dame has turned around its season after a very slow start. Really dates back to late March after 2 losses in Big East play to UConn. The Notre Dame seniors weren't happy with the way the team was executing, so Captain Steve Stanley and Andrew Bushy call a players-only meeting. They emphasize properly sacrificing teammates from base to base to play a completely unselfish type of baseball. Better practice habits than need to cut down runners left on. They said, guys, it was a better team than they were showing. Good message, good improvement all the way to Omaha.
And a tremendous turnaround after that 9-10 start date. Paul O'Toole will lead it off. Good Irish name for the Fighting Irish from Lakewood, Ohio. Another senior playing here. Seniors very valuable at the College World Series. Guys have been around a while, know how to play the game.
Yeah, and it's not just playing for your university. They play every summer over in Cape Cod,
Sure.
Alaska, Kansas League. So that experience applies also.
Stanley, by the way, led the Cape Cod League in hitting last year.
Feet, that's pretty good right there.
A lot of reasons why he was a second-round draft choice. 3-1 to O'Toole.
Colleague Buck Showalter was inducted into the Cape Cod Hall of Fame.
All right. Hit toward the hole, knocked down by Van Zandt. He'll take it himself. Good play by Eric Van Zandt, a converted shortstop. Made the play down at first.
Yeah, when he signs, he will play the middle infield somewhere. But you can see that how this being a shortstop paid off. Good footwork, the dive. And he didn't have to worry about the pitcher. He's got enough agility to get back. Easy.
Long way from the bag to take it himself.
I was going to say, you generally don't like your first baseman to go that far from the base, but obviously he can do that.
Matt Bach stands in, a .309 hitter, transfer from Georgetown University. Switch hitter who's better from the left side. And that one hit him. Took one for the club. The 12th man this year that Hudgens has hit.
You can see him roll, get out of the way of this ball. And we've watched the guys. They take getting hit by pitch in college baseball better than anybody I've ever watched.
Maybe I haven't grabbed a baseball in a long time. I remember it being real hard.
Man.
Chris Billmeyer will come to the plate. 1-on-1 out. Billmeyer to deep center. The wind will hold that one up, and now Fold will have to come back in a couple of steps to make the catch.
Well, you said it right. The wind to hold that one up. They've hit a couple shots to right center field. That ball's not going anywhere. Fold just sits comfortably underneath them. It's clearly blowing to left field tonight, and we haven't seen that in our night games anyway. It's usually blowing to right or in.
I think for the first time yesterday, it started to blow a little bit to left. I mean, not like it is now. It's about 15, 16 miles an hour perhaps to left. Javier Sanchez stands in at .282. Good hit and run guy. And his claim to fame right now, his dad is the business manager for Enrique Iglesias, which must make him a very popular young man on campus.
He said he's been to a couple concerts, and of course he's popular. Yeah, we were giving him a hard time, Coach Maneri, before the game. You know, he's got that nice little Latin accent. I said, you were pretty big a couple years ago when Ricky Martin hit the city.
In Saturday's game against Stanford, Sanchez had a 7th and 8th three-run homer that got the Irish within a run, but they could get no closer. That was only the 5th home run of the year for Sanchez. He went to the same high school in Miami as his head coach, Paul Maneri. Columbus High. Sanchez, the number 8 man in the Irish order. Foul back out of play.
It's interesting, Coach Maneri, after he had finished his college days, went back and was the assistant coach for Jim Henry, who was the assistant general manager of the Chicago Cubs now at the same high school, at Christopher Columbus High School. And when Henry left to go to the pro ranks, they didn't hire him as the high school coach. So he ended up going to the college ranks. Maneri, he is who I'm talking about.
It's funny how sometimes fate hands you the good things as well as the bad things.
I don't know what fate was thinking about at that high school, because that's the same high school as a freshman. Alex Rodriguez went to that high school, and they said, you're not going to play as a freshman, so he transferred.
Maybe you're right. Maybe it's not fate.
3 years later, he's in the big leagues.
Might be something else. Breaking pitch. Down to third, Gisevic throws across. One left, no damage. We played 2 full. It's 3-1 Stanford. Cubs Rangers, Major League Baseball on ESPN tomorrow afternoon. Alex Rodriguez and the Texas Rangers visit the Windy City to battle Sammy Sosa and the Chicago Cubs. Then Angels Cardinals at 7. Red Sox and Padres at 10. Hope you'll join us on ESPN and ESPN2 for more Major League Baseball.
Get a chance to see that Cub game tomorrow. Mark Pryor is making a start again for the Cubs, the former Trojan.
What a good-looking rookie.
Yes.
Chris Carter leads it off in the third. He started the ball game with a single and scored on Fold's home run. Right at the second baseman. Solman throws him out. One gone quickly. Fold has already had quite a College World Series. On Saturday, a big blast to win a ball game over Notre Dame. And then tonight, he gives Stanford the lead over the Irish in the first inning. A two-run job to left. Wind aided, but out nonetheless. And Ogilvy starts him off with the ball.
Trying to figure out how to pitch this young man. We throw him outside, he goes deep. We pitch him in the other day, he takes us deep.
Fold had come into the College World Series in a dreadful slump that had his average down into the 360s, hitting much higher than that. But before that slump, he had a 25-game span. 22 of the games he had more than one hit. He had 22 of the 25. He was just pounding it. And it looks like he's back to that.
Pretty impressive. He looks really comfortable. And a lot of times when you go to a ballpark like this where you have the big green screen in the back and you're able to really concentrate on just the ball and pick it up, you instantly become a better hitter.
And Fold has played well in the outfield as well. That one's chopped foul. 2-2.
This is a great hitter's batter's eye here. The background is tremendous. You got the big green fence back there. Even up in the middle, they got the black and the dark blue. I mean, it's great to pick up pitches from a pitcher.
Loop to left. That's in for a base hit. Fold is 2 for 2.
They're throwing everything at him, including the kitchen sink. That was a changeup right there, and he just stayed with it and was able to dump that in. Stay with this little changeup right there.
When you're hot, they drop, don't they?
Yes.
Yeah, when you're in a slump, you hit it like as hard as you can hit it right at somebody. 110 hits that ties the school record for a single season for Fold. And that'll bring up Garko, who is now 12 for 21 in his College World Series career, approaching 600. He obviously likes to hit at Rosenblatt. If I remember correctly, years ago, Harold, that center field wall was all white, and the hitters would complain an awful lot. Just tough to pick up the ball, had ads on it. But they have done some wonderful things at this stadium. Every year they make it better. Throw over, and Fold is back. He has 8 stolen bases this year.
I remember watching ESPN Classic and seeing that white wall. Dave Campbell played back then 30 years ago, and they just celebrated their national championship. University of Michigan this year, 30 years ago, Dave Campbell.
Runner goes. The throw down in plenty of time. Solman makes the tag. Good throw by O'Toole.
Wow, quick release.
Yeah.
Very nice. He got a good pitch to throw on, too. It was a fastball up. And O'Toole has the green light from the coaching staff to call his own pitches. He doesn't call pitch outs, but to stop the running game. But right there, he gets a good fastball up. Got him.
Throw a little bit to the second base side, but in plenty of time. This one's hit toward right center field. Stanley on his horse and chases it down just as he gets to the warning track. So Garko with a bid for extra base hits, but Stanley runs it down. Back in a moment. Welcome back to the College World Series in Omaha. Stanford with a 3-1 lead as we go to the bottom of the third, and tragedy struck the Notre Dame family this past weekend. Karen Maneri's father died on Friday night in Ohio, and she was back there with him. Paul, the head coach at Notre Dame, left to be with her Saturday after their game, after their first loss. And he talked about the irony today that how ironic it was he couldn't be there to comfort her when her father died, and she couldn't be with him at what he called the pinnacle of his career, the first College World Series game. It is amazing how things work out sometime, but they are very dedicated to each other, and she was able to get back here to be with him again, and we wish them all the best in getting through this situation. They've been married 22 years. Thaman leads it off for Notre Dame and fouls it back out of play.
He also said it really put things in perspective for him too. And you know, again, coaches are like fathers in a way, and you pass those lessons on to your players. And it's something that he felt like it's very difficult to go through, but it also gave me a perspective that baseball is not the most important thing in the world.
Cued toward the shortstop, Sanchez charges and throws, one gone. With more on Karen and Paul, let's get down to Dave Ryan. David?
Karen Maneri, Mike, is here for the first time at the College World Series. Her father Bill's funeral and her birthday were both yesterday. She also missed the Super Regional clincher against Florida State and the first two games of this College World Series. Guys, she just got here after a 6-hour delay flying out of the airport in Toledo, Ohio, and she's with her daughters Alex and Samantha now. She told me a few moments ago that maybe her dad had something to do with that Brian Stavisky home run beating Rice yesterday.
Well, that's a nice thought, too, and what just a tough stretch to go through. Stanley, who was 1 for 1, now hitting .439, stands in. And I credited Sanchez with that last putout. It was Andy Topham down at short for Stanford.
You know, Mike, it's amazing when you got speed and you can handle the bat like he does. Look at the hitting area he's got. See where the third baseman's playing here. You got the first baseman up over there. You hit anything through these holes, you got a lot of area to get base hits, and that's one of the reasons he's got so many hits, because he handles the bat so well.
Their range decreases dramatically because of that. Stanley singled in the first, stole second, reached error on a third, or reached third on an error rather, and then came home to score the first run of the ballgame.
You know, I was drawing on the telestrator, and, you know, telling Maddie, hey, it's my best work ever. It didn't show up. Very disappointed.
Those telestrators are difficult sometimes.
I had to tell you that because you're looking at me like, what are you doing with your arms up in the air?
Well, for those of us who can only draw a straight line, unlike my wife, who is an excellent artist, I can understand having problems with the telestrator.
I mean, I'm one of those stick people.
Yeah.
And so when I had a great circle around the first baseman and the third baseman, that was heaven.
This one is drilled to right. Quentin. What a play. Carlos Quentin, the right fielder, got to it and speared it.
Well, that's a triple, maybe even an inside the park if that ball gets by him and kicks around. So that's a big-time play. You know what I like about that, too? He's got the glasses on, and we have seen so many players miss balls here in the College World Series because they haven't had the glasses on.
What a great catch.
Tough sun and right.
And Stanley is robbed, and you're right, that could have been, that would have been a triple, and who knows, the way he runs. So Solman stands in with nobody on and 2 out in the Irish third inning. Fouls this one back off the right side. It's about the only way you get Stanley out. He's a .439 hitter. And he hits it hard every time. Someone has to do something extraordinary. Fastball spoiled again. And Solman staying alive on 0-2 counts.
It's just great to see Notre Dame in the College World Series.
Sure is.
You know, a team from that area of the country.
I mean, from time to time, there have been cold weather teams who have had great success here in the past. Michigan, Maine, but their opportunities have been limited with the growth of college baseball in other places. Minnesota had some good ball clubs.
That's what I was referring to. Dave Campbell. I know there's been a Michigan team since 30 years ago, but 30 years ago, Dave Campbell's club won a national championship. And I know Soup was watching the game. Knew we'd say that, mention him, get his name in there. It's enough pub on baseball tonight. That's okay.
Sultan steps out against Hudgens, who has yielded only one hit so far through 2 2/3.
You know, Dave Campbell, I keep talking about him with Baseball Tonight. His claim to fame of his career was Tom Seaver struck out 19. He didn't strike out. That's his claim to fame. I didn't strike out that game.
It's not bad.
Not bad at all.
Hit in the air to center, the wind knocking it down. Fold, who started back, has to hustle in, but he will make the catch. That is a 50 to 60 foot difference with that wind. Fold raced out, came back, still caught it. The Stanford Cardinal has advanced to the College World Series title game the last 2 years, only to lose to LSU in Miami. The loss to the Tigers 2 years ago, a heartbreaker. Brad Cressy had the game-winning hit in the bottom of the ninth to give LSU the title. So 2 championships for Mark Marquis, 87 and 88, back-to-back titles. 4th straight, 6 in the last 8 years. He has just had sustained excellence at Stanford.
He's really built a great program. 26 years there.
Jason Cooper will lead it off for the Cardinal in the 4th inning. Two 2-0 to Cooper. Swing and a miss for a strike.
Well, he struck Cooper out on a high fastball last time, right there, 2-0. Obviously, there's an area up top that they're trying to go for, and they've been able to put that ball there. Get one down, though, it might be trouble.
This one's to center field for Stanley. One gone here in the 4th. Harold, you were talking about the telestrator before for people who don't know exactly what that is. Why don't you show them?
Well, it's this little gizmo over here, and I can draw pretty much anything I want. I can say hello. You know, I can do whatever I want to do, and I clear it down here, but I will draw out different things. And Mike, you know, I mean, I got all kinds of stuff over here. I know how much you like the Cardinals.
Oh,
so
I thought I was being set up for something.
Everybody keeps talking about these bobblehead dolls.
Right.
So I was shopping today in the mall. And I know you're a big St. Louis Cardinal fan.
That's beautiful.
I had to buy this because I knew a guy named Mark. That was your cousin.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you, Harold Reynolds. That's very nice.
Biggest Cardinal fan in the world.
Go
here,
Redbirds.
So take care of it.
Tony La Russa is my hero for more than just baseball. What he does with animals, I think, is tremendous.
Great job of raising money and care.
There he is, folks. Got a stance like Edmonds. Facially, it doesn't do it, but
stance like Edmonds. I don't know if that's Stan the man, but whatever it is, we'll give this guy a plan.
You know, Stan looked more around the corner than that.
I think we'll nickname him Mark.
This one's popped off the right side. Thaman gives way to Solman. That's 2 out.
See, they dropped the name Mark Patrick.
Well, see, Harold keeps referring to Mark. We were doing the rehearsal for the Open, and the first time we did it, I said, "Good evening, everybody. This is Mark Patrick." And I don't know one of those, but
you do now.
That's right.
Little Marky.
Little Mark's right here.
Right.
And I know you've never made a mistake in the open, so we're not going to talk about any of those.
Oh, my goodness.
I did.
Yes, I have. Anyway, you do such a tremendous job, and I love working with you. And I couldn't
Thank
pass
you,
up
Bud.
on
That is very kind of you.
You're
Very
welcome.
kind of. 2 out, and there's a comebacker. Ogilvy. Quick inning for him. We'll go to the bottom of the 4th. Thanks, Harold.
You're welcome, my friend.
Bottom of the 4th, Notre Dame down by 2. The Irish will have the heart of their order up to 3, 4, 5 men to face John Hudgens, who has been breezing along, allowing only 1 run and 1 hit. A manufactured run by Notre Dame. Stavisky, who grounded out but got an RBI his first time up.
Well, Hudgens really has settled in nice.
Sure has been in a good rhythm. 9-1 this year. Even with an uncharacteristic for Stanford 4.80 ERA.
They gave up a few more runs than anticipated this season, but they've got some great young pitching coming.
Well, it's pretty tough when you lose guys like Pryor to replace them with the same number of innings and the same quality.
Well, you know, Pryor was at SC, so he'd be all over me if I didn't correct him.
Well, you're absolutely right. It was Mark who said that.
Yeah, Mark.
2-2 from Hudgens to the leadoff hitter, Brian Stavisky. Slapped foul.
They have had some tremendous pitching, even last year. I mean, through the years, they've had great stuff. They lost Wayne last season off the club and a lot of different players. So Marcus has done a great job of convincing guys to not go pro and come to Stanford, and it's really paid off for a lot of pitchers.
Slow roller hit toward third. Jurgisevich, nice play and got him.
Wow, beautiful.
This afternoon at the College World Series, South Carolina eliminated Georgia Tech. The Jackets have to go home, and then they will go on to face Clemson tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. The Stanford Notre Dame winner will go against Texas Thursday night at 7 o'clock, and the loser will be eliminated from the College World Series, joining Rice in that bracket. A lot of left-handers in today against Hudgens, and they have not had all that much success. Bushy, a line drive to right his first time up. Goes the other way this time down the left field line. Cooper with a hard run and a sliding catch. Jason Cooper. Nice play.
Great play, coming to the mound over there in the bullpen, knowing where he was at, and just go ahead and slide and make the play. See how far he goes to get this ball. Great effort. I like the slide to stop you from going into the wall right there. You know you're going full speed, full momentum, and make the slide and go ahead and save yourself from getting injured.
As well as those bullpen mounds. You go running full speed into those things, you're just liable to go head over heels.
Getting some nasty accidents over there when you get to those bullpen mounds.
Paul O'Toole with 2 out and nobody on. Big cut.
You know, Notre Dame's got all these left-handers in the lineup. They've hit the line drives into the wind that don't carry, and then right there, that ball carried out to the left fielder so he could make a play.
That's
so
right.
They haven't got a break yet.
The wind has not been their friend tonight. O'Toole turns on an inside fastball, taps it foul into the Stanford dugout. O'Toole, one of those guys that has the front foot out, dives into pitches, and tries to yank him out. Yanks this one down to a Reardon at second, bobbles, but comes up and throws and got it. 3 up, 3 down for the Irish in the fourth. It's still 3-1 Stanford. South Carolina and Georgia Tech this afternoon. Center fielder Justin Harris, the big blow, a 2-run homer in the 8th. South Carolina was also sharp in the field. They turned 3 double plays behind Aaron Rawl, who threw a beauty of a complete game, scattering 14 hits. Didn't walk anybody, struck out 2. Carolina eliminates Georgia Tech 9-5. The Gamecocks will play Clemson tomorrow night. And the state of South Carolina ensured that they will have a team in the championship game on Saturday.
Good baseball coming out of that area.
There's the summary. When's the last time you saw a guy pitch a 14-hit complete game?
Can't remember when I have.
Didn't walk anybody home. And for the Gamecocks, that was sweet revenge, as they had lost to Georgia Tech 11-0 in the opener. Fall into the losers bracket. Ogilvy has really settled down since he struggled in the first. 3 pitches and 2 runs. That's a rude greeting.
Yeah, both pitchers have really, elimination game, and they had a lot of pressure on them starting this puppy off.
Absolutely. And sometimes it's impossible to dig out of a hole. There you see the numbers on Ogilvy. Didn't take him many pitches to give up the 2 runs, though.
3. Was it 3 or 4 pitches?
3.
3 pitches. Wow.
Single and a homer to start the first inning. This one slapped on the ground or down toward Solomon at second. And he throws out Radicevic for the first out.
Well, Coach Maneri was telling us this morning, Notre Dame plays fast games.
They get it and throw it.
Get it and throw it. Their catcher and pitcher call their own pitches between them. They're not looking over into the dugout for the coaches for signs. And so that speeds up the game quite a bit. And they're calling their own ball game.
And there seem to be more and more teams that are going to allow their catcher to call the games. There was a while out here where nobody did.
Yeah, you're right. I was going to say about 3 or 4 years ago, I can remember 8 teams, 8 out of 8 coaches were calling the game.
Exactly. Van Zant, who grounded out his first time up. Andy Topham, the number 9 man in the order, is on deck. Been relatively quiet since that first inning when we had 3 of the 4 runs in the game scored. And both pitchers have shut down the opposing offenses. Didn't go around. It's 2-1 to Van Zant. Dangerous number 9 hitter, raised his batting average 60 points this year. Hits this one high to left center, up in the wind. Stanley drifting back, still back all the way to the warning track to make the catch.
Well, you could tell by the route that Stanley ran right there. He would stop, go back, another step or 2, go back. That's what the wind will do to a baseball when it's up high like that. It will continue to push it out.
And that one had a lot of chance to get some help. Blowing 15 miles to left, and as you can see, the wind meter right there going between 15 and 12 and a half. There have been days out here when we played and it was 25.
Yeah, easy.
And pop-ups were 3-run dingers. Topham 0 for 1.
I've really been impressed with the defense all around here in the College World Series. Not many mistakes.
No, every team has been pretty solid.
Even the fans.
Good hands everywhere. It's one of the radio booths. We'll just reach right out and get it.
Wow, I catch that. I'm standing out there for a while. Let everybody see me.
chop towards second again. A lot of infield outs. Solman with the throw. 3 up, 3 down. We go to the bottom of the 5th. An 8-pitch inning for Pete Ogilvy.
Back in the College World Series elimination game, Stanford at Notre Dame. This is the Road to Omaha statue that welcomes all fans to Rosenblatt Stadium. It turns out there's quite a connection with this statue and Notre Dame pitching coach Brian O'Connor. His dad owns a local monument company that was commissioned to help make the statue. Well, the sculptor needed a picture of celebration, so he asked Brian's dad for a picture of Brian during a game celebrating. That, in fact, is Brian O'Connor, modeled for the very statue that stands outside Rosenblatt Stadium. And Brian pitched in a College World Series for Creighton back in 1991.
David, that's a great story and a beautiful, magnificent sculpture out in front of the stadium. And Dave Ryan just comes up with some wonderful stuff for us, does a great job, and works doubleheader day after day after day. He goes to 2 meetings a day, works 2 games a day. I wonder if he's got 2 rooms back at the hotel.
He may as well. Absolutely the hardest worker around here, no doubt.
Matt Bach leads it off for the Irish. Back up the middle and through, a base hit.
Well, this is the type of game that Notre Dame likes to play. They're going to hit the ball on the ground, base hits. They like to run. They like to hit and run a lot. But the score 3-1, that still gives them a chance to do some things. It's not like it's a 6-1 or 5-1 game. So you still might see them try to execute a little bit.
Hudgens had retired 8 in a row before that hit. Here's Chris Billmeyer. And he saved his best for the postseason in the NCAA tournament, 508. 248 the rest of the year. Overall, it's 311. This is when you want to get hot. Fouls this one back. And you feel so bad for some guys who come out here who haven't had a slump all year. Everybody's going to have one. And to have it come on the biggest stage you may ever play on, you just feel so sad for them.
Right.
But Billmeyer apparently just can't wait for tournaments to start.
Just some guys that are great practice players, and there's some guys that are great game players.
And some guys beyond that rise to the occasion. Saw the A move that time from Hudgens.
Well, here's another way to take a pitcher out of his rhythm. So many things happen when they get into the stretch. Now they have to worry about the base runner, hold them close, they're not working fast. And that's how you start rallies. You make them work a little bit and take them out of that comfort zone of being in a windup and being able to get a pitch, get the ball and throw a strike and get it back.
Strike called 0-2. Notre Dame as a team does not have a great base stealing percentage. Coming into this game, they had stolen 61 of 90. So 1 out of 3 got cut down.
A lot of that comes with a club that likes to hit and run. When you hit and run, you don't get as great a jump at first base, so you're going to get thrown out a lot more.
Line to left, base hit. Back-to-back singles. And Notre Dame has something going in the bottom of the 5th. And that was an 0-2 pitch that he roped to left.
He left a breaking ball out over the plate, and obviously you watch Garco set up outside, and that ball came back out inside, so that was not what they were trying to do.
And now Javier Sanchez, as Mark Marquis doesn't like what he sees. He wants to set his defense. Tell him exactly what he's looking for here.
Now in this situation, if you're Notre Dame, you're thinking about maybe bunting. You're keying on the shortstop. And the shortstop is going to tell you where to bunt the ball. You want to bunt this ideally down third base. The shortstop right here, if he breaks to his right, then you know here's a little pickoff move. Go ahead and drop the bunt. Perfect bunt.
Great bunt fielded by the pitcher, but Hudgens, all he can do is take a bite out of it. Beautiful bunt.
What set that up was they went for, with Stanford, you either got to pick off or you deliver to the plate. But as soon as the shortstop breaks to the left, now Sanchez, the bunter, he knows, okay, I got a clear bunt down the third baseline. See the shortstop break behind the runner. This is a perfect placement. Even if the pitcher makes the play and gets the guy at third, he's done his job. But perfect.
Sanchez executes beautifully. And Hudgens, all he could do is get to it and not make a play, so they're loaded for Joe Thaman, the left-handed hitting first baseman. And he's got some pop in his bat.
That was a weird defensive play because the third baseman actually held, and the pitcher was the only one to get that ball. He was the only one that had a play.
Because, as you said, the shortstop was behind second base with a potential pickoff play. And now Brian O'Connor is going to come out to talk to Hudgens with the bases loaded and nobody out.
Hey, let's look at that bunt play again. It's kind of weird how they defended that because maybe somebody did miss a sign. Watch the third baseman. He's going to stay home. The shortstop breaks. He starts to go out. He breaks back to third. Now, I guess it was more of a reaction. He knew the ball was bunted a little bit harder, but it's really a perfect bunt because you want the third baseman to come get that ball and get it out. So by the pitcher going after it, they put themselves in a situation where they only had one play, and that was for him to dive and maybe come up with a miracle throw to third.
Well, you don't want your shortstop standing behind second base either.
No, absolutely not.
So I think somebody did miss a sign. I think they were convinced it was going to be a pickoff. Everybody but Hudgens was.
Might be what they're discussing right now. Somebody's not too happy in that dugout.
No, and Mark Marquis is leading that group. Dan Rich is up in the Stanford bullpen, the left-hander. He has not pitched in the series. Slated to be the first guy out of the pen if they need anyone. And now Thaman with a chance to do some damage, and he pops it up. Wind blowing it toward the outfield, and O'Riordan is back there to make the catch.
And that becomes an infield fly rule. You young infielders, anytime there's a ball in the air in a situation where you got runners at first and second or sacks full with less than 2 outs, if you can get out there and get underneath the ball, that automatically becomes an out. Even if you were to drop it, the runners advance on their own. So that's why, as an infielder, you want to go out as far as you can and be secure under the ball. Now it becomes an instant out.
And it's something that has to be called by the umpire. You can't take it for granted.
Right. Now, how many nights have we been here with the bases loaded and teams have not come through, and it's been the defining moment of their evening?
A lot. These opportunities usually don't come along very often. Here's Stanley, the guy they want up there. Pops it foul. And that's just into the seats, down in the camera box. Stanley is 1 for 2, was robbed of a triple or more. And if you're an Irish fan, how about this? There has been at least 1 Grand Slam hit in every College World Series since '91, but none so far this year. Now Stanley, he might be more likely to get an inside the park job. He's only hit 1 this year. Hits this one down the left field line. Cooper makes the catch. That'll get a run home, and it's 3-2, a sacrifice fly for Stanley.
Well, it looked like Cooper was going to be behind that ball, and we were going to have a play at the plate. But as soon as he backed up and stumbled, that's when they went ahead and sent the runner and picked up the run. Now, the wind helped him out. This ball pushes Stanley's ball out, but watch Cooper, the left fielder. Looks like he's going to set up, get behind it, and then when he had to back up and almost jump, it looked like, to catch the ball, the run's going to score easy.
The wind took him out of any position to be able to make a throw, so Stanley gets the RBI.
That's not the way he wanted it. He would have liked to have got a base hit or something.
Now it's up to Solman with 2 out and 2 on, and this is chopped toward short. Topham makes the play at first. The Irish get a run, but a big threat dies with 2 aboard. They have cut the lead to 3-2.
Back in the College World Series, Stanford a 3-2 lead, and this is William O'Riordan. He's Chris O'Riordan's dad, and he walks from foul pole to foul pole at Rosenblatt Stadium. There are nervous fans, and there are really nervous fans. William, even at the games at the Sunken Diamond back home at Stanford, never stays still the entire game. He's just too nervous. I talked to Chris about it before the game. They can never find him. Sometimes he goes out of the stadium just to avoid being too nervous, guys.
Where's Waldo pretty soon? He's walking everywhere.
Well, the downside to that, he's got to have a ticket to get in the ballpark, and he never uses the seat. Maybe he leaves his belongings on the seat. That would work. We go to the Stanford 6, the top of the order, Chris Carter.
He is the most in-shape parent of the group.
Gotta be. No matter what your pace is, if you walk for 9 innings, you're going to cover some ground.
I was impressed he hadn't worked up a lather. He was just looking good.
It's a little humid out there today. Carter now 2 for 3, lined over the first baseman's head. Down into the bullpen area, that's going to be a double for Carter.
Well, they like the way he swings the bat, and that's why he's at the top of the order. You'd love to see that leadoff man get on. It just does so many things for your offense, particularly if he can double like Carter does right here. Now it gives you so many options with the second hitter, be able to pull a ball and get him over, or bunt him over, or drive him in.
And he's not one of those contact singles hitters. He has power. He and Fuld have 4 hits at the top of the order, 4 of the Stanford 6 on the night.
Coming in, we talked about the 1, 2, and 3 hitters from the Stanford lineup.
Fuld 2 for 2, including a home run. Takes a fastball, knocks it hard. Thaman covers it at first. 1 gone, runner advances to third.
What a tremendous piece of hitting. Now, 6th inning, you got to get the man over. Why they're congratulating him is because he took a high fastball that was away. And it all started at the beginning of the play. He stands right on top of the plate. Look at where he's standing. And he knew, I got to get the man over. Got a high fastball and just topped it and gave himself up. That's a great at-bat.
Now, the infield for the Irish is going to come in to try to cut off the run with Garko at the plate. And they usually estimate this adds about 100 points to a guy's batting average. So that makes Garko a .419 hitter right now.
It's a great situation. Now, the Notre Dame, excuse me.
Harold is clearing his throat. He'll be here momentarily.
Thank you, Mark.
That one's in the dirt. Good block by O'Toole. About 5 years ago out here, Harold, I swallowed a bug and couldn't talk for 2 innings. A moth.
That was that popcorn right there.
Okay. It's better than a moth, trust me. William O'Riordan continues that pace. Garko takes it outside, 3-0.
What I was going to say is interesting is that the Notre Dame infield, even though they are in, they are still about midway because of 2 reasons. One, Garko doesn't run very well, and second, with that aluminum bat, your reaction time is so short. The ball's going to get to you real quick.
Garko 1 for 2. Here's the 3-0 pitch way outside. Didn't look like they wanted to be part of Garko right now.
Trying to set up the double play. They clearly put him on.
Well, that gives you the choice. You can keep the infield in, or you can go back to double play depth.
I think in the 6th inning, they're going to elect to go ahead and go double play depth. Well, Maneri's going to come out and either make a pitching change or just have a conversation with his infield himself and let him know how he wants to position this.
It's the first walk tonight issued by either team. That's pretty good. ESPN has baseball's only national weekday afternoon telecast, 2:15 Eastern tomorrow. Alex Rodriguez and the Rangers visit the Windy City to battle Sammy Sosa and the Cubs. Wednesday afternoon baseball from historic Wrigley Field. Mark Pryor set to start for the Cubs. We're in the 6th. Stanford on top of Notre Dame 3-2. The Stanford Cardinal with runners at first and third, 1 out for Jason Cooper, and the infield goes back to double play depth. Looking for that ground ball, and Ogilvy has really settled in after struggling early. Cooper is 0 for 2. Fouls this one back.
I'm really amazed at the aggressiveness of the Stanford hitters. You know, they've always in the past been a team that took a lot of pitches, got deep in counts. But this group, they are hacking.
Carter down at third after the leadoff double. Foul tip, strike two. And Garko the runner at first. So Cooper, who struck out his first time up, is in an 0-2 hole.
Well, it's interesting because they struck him out with the ball up, and you've watched him tonight with a couple pitches up out of the zone he hasn't been able to handle. But if you want a ground ball, you don't pitch a high pitch.
But if you want to strike out, maybe you do. High and way outside.
Now Stanford, if you're wondering, will they have a first and third steal situation? Either one of the runners on the corners do not run very well. Cooper at third and Garko at first.
So you might run yourself into a double play. One and two to Cooper from Pete Ogilvie. Cooper hurt Notre Dame on Saturday with a 2-run single. Fastball outside 2-2. Maybe Ogilvie trying to be a little too fine after he got ahead 0-2.
I'm a little surprised they got the first baseman holding Garko because Cooper can hook the ball. I'm surprised they're not playing him around him a little bit to maybe set up, not cutting that ball off.
Missed badly again, low and outside 3-2. And now will Stanford send Garko. You see things a little different out here than you might see on Wednesday afternoon ESPN Major League Baseball. He is not going, and the ball is stroked to dead center for a base hit. Stanley comes on, and it's 4-2. Stanford.
Battle back from an 0-2 count.
Carter scores with a fourth run.
He really worked himself into a situation where he had to go ahead and throw a strike right there. So runner at third base goes back to tag, which you may as well do once the ball's in the air and you're at third base.
You're going to score on it whether it drops or it's caught, so you might as well. 2 out runners at first and second for O'Riordan. And O'Riordan smokes it to center, but right at Stanley. Two gone. Mr. O'Riordan.
Short walk right there.
From foul pole to foul pole and back again. I have miles to go before I sleep. We're going to have a new pitcher for the Irish here in the 6th. Axford will come on, and we'll check on him when we come back. Stanford leading at 4-2 in the 6th over Notre Dame, and they have driven Pete Ogilvie, the starter, out of the ball game. He goes 5 2/3, allows 4 runs on 7 hits. 2 of those hits were homers. 1 on the 3rd pitch of the ball game. And John Axford, a big right-hander, 6'5", 175, from Port Dover, Ontario. 16 games, he's won 5, 4.02 ERA. He had a chance to pitch in the Super Regionals down at Dick Hauser Field in Tallahassee. And being from Canada, he wasn't really aware of the tradition they have down there. They used to have a Canadian scholarship player. And in the 5th inning, the fans would stand up and sing the Canadian national anthem. And he thought it was for him, tipped his cap, started throwing 97-mile-an-hour fastballs and striking out every Seminole in sight. He thought they were on his side there for a while.
That's a great story.
Axford can bring it.
Axford was drafted by the Seattle Mariners in the 7th round. He will get the ball up there, like you said, 97 miles an hour. Great arm. You can see the big, lanky body.
He was the top high school pitcher in Canada last year. And he faces Carlos Quinton. And a good cut of the fastball, 1-2. Quinton, first time up. Bangs one to left center. And Ogilvy knew that one was gone. Led off the 2nd inning. One of 2 homers for the Stanford Cardinal. This is an elimination game, and the pressure starting to mount. Fastball up and in. At 97, you have very little time to get out of the way.
Now, if he comes back with the slider right here, that was a pretty good knockdown. That's the first time I've seen an 0-2 fastball, or a fastball, actually, when a pitcher was ahead in the count inside like that. 1-2, obviously.
Certainly has the outside corner set up, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly where he throws it. Hit to right center. Bill Meyer going out, and he will make the catch. That's the 3rd out, but Stanford adds to its lead. The Cardinal is now up 4-2. The teams have been kind enough all week to allow us our all-access look behind the scenes here. And this is a look at one of the biggest hits of the year for the Fighting Irish.
Crowder again with the 3-2 to Stanley. Right center field, hit well, it will fall in the gap. Stanley thinking right for second, thinking third, here he comes. The throw to third, there will be no throw. Stanley with a lead-off triple.
It's about as big as it gets. I've never had a bigger hit than that. More exciting for all these fans that come out to watch us play. This is the best feeling I can imagine.
That was a dream come true for him right now. And to get that hit in the bottom of the 9th, I mean, he'll never forget it. It's got to be the best game of his life.
It was a change-up. I was actually kind of sitting fastball, but I was trying to hit any strike. And he had me fooled a little bit, but I was able to get the barrel on it.
Just telling my mom it's going to be okay. He's going to get a hit. You got to have confidence. And when he did it, it was just amazing.
He's been in some clutch situations and been able to hit the ball pretty good. We've been pretty proud.
Crowder's 1-2 is hit deep to right. Austin Davis back. It's gone. Notre Dame wins it. On a Stavisky home run.
That's a great feeling. I never doubted myself. I struggled with the first couple of games, and as long as I get another chance, anything can happen.
Today's my husband's birthday. It was the best birthday present ever. A walk-off home run in the College World Series.
I never even got to see him run around the bases. Everybody was hugging everybody, and I never even got to see him run the bases.
That was unreal. That was the best team I've ever seen. Man, every time I think this team is down to a point where we can't do it, we do it every time. One more time.
Beautifully put together piece right there. And you've got to love Stanley. He's one of my favorite kids coming out here to see him play. That's just fun.
The excitement and enthusiasm and just the energy.
He just loves it. Stavisky will lead off the 6th. And he leads it off with a smoking base hit.
Well, they loaded him up last time.
And only got a run. Both teams very well represented in the crowd today. 23,807 as we continue to set records. First 4 days, almost 100,000 people have seen the College World Series. This just adds to the total. We're up to about 122,000 through 5 days now. And the support for the College World Series and all these kids is remarkable. Bushy stands in. He is 0 for 2 now, hitting .326. Second-year captain on this ball club. Projected as a catcher by the Rockies. He was drafted in the 15th round. Goes down after one and floats it to left. Cooper comes on a couple of steps, makes the catch for the first out. on in the 6th for Paul O'Toole. I imagine my buddy Joe Theismann, who is so proud of his alma mater, will be watching this game. Joe didn't play in college, a great high school player, drafted out of high school. And when he played quarterback for Notre Dame, he was smaller than most of these guys. A ball in the dirt, and that's going to send Stavisky down to second base. Wild pitch.
Speaking of Joe Theismann, this may not be what you think about, but Stavisky, as you see him go to second base, reminds me that he's an academic All-American. And so was Joe.
At least he tells me that. I've never seen the certificate, but he tells me.
We're going to have to get proof on that one.
I'll take his word. Another one in the dirt. Good block by Garco.
He's got to be an academic All-American with all the commercials he does. Somebody's working all that stuff for him.
You know, when he played quarterback at Notre Dame, he was 170 pounds.
If he's not, Paul McGuire definitely is an academic All-American.
Paul wasn't 170 pounds when he played at the Citadel. 2-0 to O'Toole. Line drive, right field, base hit. The runner had to hesitate. Then the ball's dropped out in right field, allowing Stavisky to come around third and score. They were going to hold him at third.
Well, you got to remember that Carlos Quentin, the right fielder, does not know that the runner at second got a bad jump. He's looking at the ball, and so he's trying to hurry because he's thinking he's got to play at the plate. And as a result, he took his eye off the ball. See, right here, he's got his mind made up. I'm going home with this grounder, and he's trying to get himself in position. The ball just, he doesn't look it in, it kicks off, and at the same time, you see him look down. He started to look to see where he wanted to throw it. And you'll see the runner here, he stops because he's got a bad jump, and then they send him on anyway.
I think Stavisky may have been decoyed by O'Riordan at second, who made the leap for the ball, but he had a real good angle on it and should have seen it go in there. So it's back to a one-run game. No RBI on the single because the bobble out right, which is not charged as an error. I'm sorry, it is an RBI. No error on the right fielder, Quentin. So now it's a one-run game for Bach, who singled his last time up. The Irish keep fighting back. Stanford has yet to relinquish the lead, though.
Very similar to their first game meeting here at the World Series. Stanford jumped out in front, and the Irish were trying to battle back the whole game.
That was also 4-3. That was a final. Another throw over as O'Toole gets back. And he's a good base stealer, has 11 this year. Dan Rich is up and throwing for Stanford, the left-hander, as Hudgens continues into his 6th inning of work. There goes O'Toole. Rolled toward O'Riordan at second. His only play is at first. 2 gone.
Well, they love to hit and run. Right there puts the runner in scoring position, and that's Notre Dame baseball right there. And that was a tremendous piece of hitting because that ball was a hard sinker or a changeup that was down and away, and he was able to put the bat on it.
Congratulations from his teammates for helping to get the runner over.
You know, we talk about how much the teaching has changed in baseball. It used to be hit that ball to the left side because it's away from you on the hit and run, or if you're a right-hander, try to hit it to the right side. Now they teach just put the ball on the ground anywhere, and that's really what it is. You're protecting the runner.
That's all you really need, isn't it? If you hit it, he's going to advance.
Put it on the ground.
Bill Meyer, a ball and no strikes. He's 1 for 2 with a single. The hit's starting to add up for Notre Dame. That's 6. And they've closed the gap to 1 run. Breaking pitch, 2-0.
Now, if you're a Stanford follower, you might be wondering, why is Dan Rich up now in the 6th when he is your closer? Well, Mark Marcus said, I'm not going to lose a game without using my best guy. He's got to get in the game if we need him.
one of his best pitchers who hasn't had a chance to get in the ball game. When your starters are going all the way, you don't need that guy.
You worry about tomorrow. You take care of today.
Crushed, but foul. Boy, did he turn on that one. Bill Meyer got the head of the bat out in front and just drilled it.
They're very aggressive. 3-0, and this is, he cuts him loose on a 3-0 pitch. I mean, he took a hack.
Got as good a cut as he's going to get, didn't he? Swing and a miss, 3-2 now.
Came back with another big swing. Tell you, those balls, the line drive this young man tried to catch. The ball hurts.
Being tended to by the fire and rescue squad in Omaha, and that one gets out there in a hurry and one hand and caught a little meat on the way through. 3-2, just missed. 2 aboard with 2 out. Mark was pondering his next step, consulting with Brian O'Connor.
Fastball down and out. He wanted it. He was heading toward the dugout,
and whatever the question was, you could see Brian O'Connor saying, "Nope, nope." Sanchez waiting at the plate.
I'd be surprised if they take him out against the right-handed hitter and bring in the left-hander Rich. Although Rich has been their closer, and sometimes a close situation calls for that, and this is a close situation, so they're going to their guy. You don't become the closer at any level unless you can get out right and left-hand hitters.
Mark Rich will be the new pitcher, and Hudgens will leave with a 4-3 lead in the 6th inning here at the College World Series at Rosenblatt. Back after this. 4-3 Stanford. Hudgens has been forced out of the ball game after 5 2/3 innings pitched. He allowed 3 runs, only 2 of them earned. Gave up 6 hits, walked only 1, and threw 80 pitches in the ball game.
Well, he had some solid defense behind him. 8 ground ball outs. This one by Eric Van Zant at first base. Then a tough play out in the right field, and then Cooper making the sliding catch. The big thing that impressed me, Mike, was that he threw a lot of strikes. And when you throw strikes, your defense is going to play solid behind you.
And this is Dan Rich, the senior from Bay Village, Ohio. One of 3 potential closers that they have on this ball club. Can get it up to 90 miles an hour, has 5 saves, an ERA under 3, and 39 strikeouts and 33 1/3 pitched. Got a great pitch called the Bug. Anything that's got a nickname, you got to like.
The Bug.
It's a 2-finger knuckle curve that acts as a sinker. This was fouled out of play.
Might have been it right there, actually. It looked a little buggy.
Sanchez in a hole 0-2 with runners at first and second. 2 men gone here in the Notre Dame 6th.
I'm wondering if he goes, a lot of times when a pitcher throws a split, he goes right to it. But see the grip here.
Skied down the left field line, drifting into foul territory. Topham, nice run and nice catch. Andy Topham, who was switched from third base and has played great at short, makes a diving catch down the left field line. Stanford defense doing it again.
Clemson's back home in Omaha. South Carolina is back home in Omaha.
The state of South Carolina assured of having a team in the championship. South Carolina will meet undefeated Clemson tomorrow night on ESPN2 at 7 o'clock. Nebraska and Georgia Tech eliminated from Bracket 1. In Bracket 2, Rice is gone. Texas, the undefeated team, they are 2-0. Stanford and Notre Dame playing for the right to play Texas Thursday night. And South Carolina, the state, will have a team in the championship game for the first time since 1977 on Saturday afternoon.
Regardless, if South Carolina beats Clemson, they come back and play again.
Right.
To see who goes to the championship
one of them
game.
gets in.
All right.
Scott Dragisevich will lead it off. And each time Notre Dame has closed the gap, Stanford has responded to extend it again. Axford on for his second inning of relief. Fouled back.
He's got a great arm. You can hear that ball sizzling. That's when you know somebody's throwing hard. Melting that ice cream, he's throwing so hard.
Now, if you want to send some of that up, go ahead and send it up.
Yeah, we can handle that.
My bobblehead doll would like one. Crushed to first stand by Thaman. One out. One loud out.
I like how teams align themselves. Thaman knows he's throwing mid-90s. Any hitter is going to be a little bit late. He's standing right on the line. It's not a very difficult play. He's so big right there at him. But it's positioning that put him in the position to make that play in the first place.
Thaman had not gotten to the top of his jump when that ball got there. That was hit pretty good.
It was smoked.
Van Zandt as one goes to the backstop.
I mean, look at the dent that ball put in the wall.
Like the old Ryan Duran theory. Just a little bit outside. Now, if you're a hitter, you don't really dig in a whole lot on the next one, do you?
It's kind of hard to.
It does the same thing on a player.
Look at that.
Boy, that's got some giddy up on it.
Well, there's some guys that throw 90, 93, 94, and it really looks like it's 88, 89. Right. And then there's others that throw that hard and it looks harder. It's one of those guys that looks harder than it is. He's got such a nice, easy motion and lets the ball go. I'm about to call the Mariners up and say, hold it. What are we thinking out there? Give this kid the money.
Well, when you have a prestigious program in college baseball, you've got a chance to keep a kid from signing in the pros because he wants to get that education. High heat struck him out. This kid can bring it. He's only about 175 pounds. When he grows into that body, who knows?
You're absolutely right. And that's, you know, a lot of times people are confused when a kid gets drafted high because they're projecting 5 years from now, what's he going to look like in this frame? And exactly what you're talking about, Mike, but he runs it up there. Good mechanics.
Just throwing heat right now, and Andy Topham, the number 9 man, who was 0 for 2, stands in. Ferguson Jenkins, probably the most famous pitcher ever from Canada, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. I think so.
Had a great career with the Cubs. This is fertile area out here for the Cubs and the Cardinals. It's pretty well split down the middle. And some Royals interest as well.
AAA Royals here.
Can you imagine being with this AAA club and playing in this ballpark? I mean, you may not know how good you have it.
I got a chance to come here 1 year in '95 for a couple of months. The ball definitely jumps.
3-0 to Topham. Fastball called strike.
He is popping that glove. Start calling him Popper.
That's also a pretty good indication when you hear him that much. Another one will go to the backstop on ball 4. the open, you talked about the 1, 2, 3 hitters in this lineup and that it was going to be crucial for them to do something. The first 2 games they hit .407, even better than that tonight. 5 of 8, 2 RBIs, 3 runs scored. So they have come through the entire series for Mark Marquess and the Stanford Cardinal.
It's a great thing when you get the top of your order jumping out, swinging a bat like they are, because your pitcher more than likely is going to have a lead by the time he takes them out.
This is Carter, who was 2 for 3, had a ringing double the last time up down the right field line. Has he averaged up close to the 300 mark. About a month ago, they moved him to the top spot, and it's worked ever since. Fastball rides high from John Axford.
He looks like there's not a pitch that he cannot handle.
Absolutely. Got a nice stroke. Top recruit in college baseball, who struggled early with this program, but has come on when they really needed him to solidify the ball club. And now he does it even more so as he goes to the top of the order.
Here's an interesting thing, Mike, that you look at too. There's sun in the first baseman's eye right here. So as a base runner, I'm saying he cannot throw over right now because he can't see the ball. So I'm going to get a bigger lead. I'm going to go ahead and steal a bag in this situation. See how he's squinting. He's fighting it.
And the shades are not down. The runner goes, throw through, not in time. Stolen base for Topham, his 10th of the year. Nice call, Harold.
Thank you. They got a high fastball, about 95 miles an hour. That's a great stolen base. See the catcher O'Toole come out and throw a strike. It was close. He's in there, though. Our umpires have been just absolutely terrific.
There have been very few disputes, and the ones there have been, the replay show they've been right.
That's a guy who doesn't steal a lot of bases, but you take advantage of the situation, and sometimes the stadium will dictate if you can run or not, and the sun is in the first baseman's eye. He can't see it. You're not throwing over there. Get a lead, take advantage of it, go.
Great call. So Carter now with a runner in scoring position with 2 out here in the Stanford 7th. They're up by 1, trying to add to it. That one is going to twist foul out of play. John Magnuson down at second base made that last call. And when we've been coming out here before, I mean, we've been critical of umpires. I think that's part of our job. If they miss something, they miss something. And we're not blowing smoke at these guys. I think this has been the best year overall for umpiring I've ever seen out here.
They have been really good. NC2A ought to be proud. They did a great job of selecting. The men have performed.
3-1 to Carter, who went after a 3-0 fastball and fouled it away. Now he draws a walk. And that'll get the dangerous Sam Fuld to the plate with 2 out and 2 on. And Paul Maneri knows how critical this is now as we reach the 7th. His team has cut the lead to 1 again. And Stanford has responded every single time. Action in the Notre Dame bullpen, including Gagne, who is the closer. Drew Duff is the other right-hander, number 5, and J.P. Gagne, the closer on the right.
Gagne would love to get back in the ball game, get a chance to pitch tonight. What was his quote? Had they not won the game the other day?
He gave up a home run that put the other club ahead. His team came back to beat Rice. And he said, I don't know what the rest of my life would have been like if we'd have lost that game. He has pitched in both games, was a starter. They asked him to go to the bullpen because they needed a closer, and he's performed brilliantly for them. But right now, it is up to Axford, who is trying to get Sam Fuld to be the 3rd out of the inning. Fuld is 2 for 3, a single and a homer. The homer, a 2-run shot in the first, and Notre Dame has never trailed since, or Stanford's never trailed since then. Fastball low, 2-0. So the plate dancing around on Axford right now. And if you are primarily a fastball pitcher and you're not getting your fastball over, there's nowhere to go.
No, you're not going to sneak the cheese by a rat.
13 balls and only 8 strikes in this inning. That fastball's in there. May have taken a little bit off of that one to make sure he got it over. But if you can throw 97, taking a little bit off is not too bad.
Not bad at all. It actually gives you a couple more pitches if you can do that now. This one here, I think he's going to really try to let it go because you don't want to speed his bat up.
That was the 97-mile-an-hour variety hit down the left field line. And nice running catch by Stavisky. Brian Stavisky got over toward the line and made the catch and saved a couple of runs. So Axford gets out of it. Will go to the bottom of the 7th. It's a 1-run ball game.
Seventh inning stretch time College World Series. Stanford a 1-run lead on Notre Dame. Notre Dame Fighting Irish coach Frank Maneri's 7-year-old son Tommy is the Irish bat boy named after Tommy Lasorda, Coach Maneri's close friend, the legendary former Dodger manager. Tommy Lasorda is little Tommy's godfather, but guys, that's not all. Tommy Maneri has 2 godfathers. The other is Cubs assistant general manager Jim Hendry, who was here in person Saturday to watch the Irish open up the College World Series against Stanford. Pretty heavy hitters for godfathers, I'd say.
The child is blessed.
I think he's going to get a pro contract someday. He's got some hookups.
Paul Maneri looking forward to the top of his order coming up in this inning after Joe Thaman leads it off. Home half of the 7th. The Irish down by 1 to the Stanford Cardinal. Uh-oh. Ice cream, Harold. Hit on the ground. O'Riordan behind second. Throws him out. 1 gone. Steve Stanley will come up back to the top of the order. He is 1 for 3 today, and he started off the ball game with a base hit, and this is the way Notre Dame has played since that 9 and 10 start. Stanley breaks for second, gets the stolen base. The throw goes into center. Error on the catcher. Stanley goes to third, and then scores on the ground out. A manufactured run for the Irish. A single, a stolen base, a throwing error, and a fielder's choice. That's how they got the 1, and now Stanley stands in, representing the potential tying run for Notre Dame. Look to bunt. We just got a magnificent delivery.
This is the only way to watch baseball.
Got the bobblehead doll, the Cardinal, guy named Mark, and we got the ice cream.
And those guys back in the studio in Bristol at Baseball Tonight getting ready for their show, missing out.
They don't
fellas.
have ice cream, do
they? Don't have it, Mike. We're watching a ball game, eating ice cream. How good does this get?
Yeah, we'll have somebody walk it back to Connecticut.
Dropping this stuff all over myself.
Didn't survive the trip from downstairs real well, but good enough. Stanley, and that's bunted off the catcher's mask. Garco took one right in the chops.
See, he's trying to pull that ball to second base right there towards O'Riordan. Watch how his top hand will try to bring it with him. See how he tried to hook that, and it ended up being a fastball that was away. He wants to get. You want to get on that situation. You want to get a ball that's up and a ball that's in. Then you can get on top of it and try to bring that bunt with you.
Harold, you got ice cream all over the inside of your microphone. And there's a base hit. Steve Stanley singles to left. He is 2 for 4, and that's the guy Notre Dame had to have on. His wife, Brooke.
Nice piece of hitting. Stayed with that ball, drove it the other way. #1 cheerleader.
Now, if you're Notre Dame, what do you do with Stanley? Do you let him run?
Got to let him run.
32 stolen bases this year. Solman at the plate. Fastball is low.
With the right-handed pitcher, he went first pitch last time. A lot of times with the left-hander, you want to try to get him to throw over before you take a lead. I mean, before you take off. So you get a bigger lead, make him throw, then you get a good read. Now you might see him run. Now he's got a chance to measure him. That's not his best move, but at least he came over.
School record in stolen bases, runs, and hits in his 256th career start for Notre Dame.
And maybe the most important part of the sequence was the first pitch was a ball instead of a strike. If it's a strike, now they might potentially pitch out. With a ball, I doubt if they try to pitch out, although they're not afraid to back. Now that's his best move. Right?
Snap throw that time.
When you see a guy with a good snap move, that's his best move. He doesn't have a good leg kick move.
Hit toward the hole, speared by Topham. The throw to second, got the force. That's a big play by Topham.
It's a big-time play.
Got the lead runner, the guy they feared the most, Steve Stanley.
What's impressive is how quick he gets this ball out of his glove. Field it, jump, throw. Why do you jump? Well, that gives you a little more English on the ball with your body. That gives you a little more oomph on the arm action when you jump and throw like that.
So it's up to Stavisky, who was the hero yesterday with a two-run homer in the ninth. Here he is in the seventh, and a two-run homer would put his club ahead. He's a little handicapped because the wind is blowing hard to left, as it was the other day. He found a way to drive it through it. But facing the left-hander Dan Rich right here. Runner goes, and the throw will go into center field again. Solman on the way to third. Another stolen base, another throwing error.
They're going to be aggressive, and you're going to see a lot of throwing errors from a catcher at this level because the infielders really haven't learned how to knock the ball down all the time. This ball kicked back on him, but it was a long hop. Had he been able to get his body in a different position, he might have been able to knock it down. It's a difficult play, but the more throws you receive in the dirt like that, the more adept you are to knocking it down.
Tying run 90 feet away. That's fouled back. 1-2 to Brian Stavisky. Dan Rich trying to close it out here in the seventh and protect the lead. Struck him out with a fastball. Rich does a great job after the tying run reaches third. And the Irish are gone in the seventh. We'll go to the 8-4-3 Cardinal.
Cardinal Ryan Garko set to lead things off in the eighth inning. It turns out Ryan is a lifelong Notre Dame football fan. I sat with Ryan in the dugout before the game today. He rattled off so much Notre Dame football trivia, it made my head spin. Turns out growing up in Los Angeles, he watched several Notre Dame USC football games in person at the old Coliseum, and his brother Mike is a Notre Dame alum, now in law school at Virginia. I want to make sure he said hello to Mike, who is, by the way, rooting for Stanford, not Notre Dame tonight.
Okay, thank you, David. That's a pretty good story. Stanford has a pretty good football team of its own. And Garko will face the new pitcher, J.P. Gagne. 87 and 90 mile an hour fastball. His curve, pretty good. Gets a lot of outs and a lot of strikeouts on his change. And comes from a very dramatic athletic background. His father, Greg, a professional wrestler. His grandfather, Vern, was one of the original superstars in professional wrestling. High to left center. And another leaping grab by Stanley as the wind blew it further and further back.
Mike, that was even more incredible from our viewpoint because the left fielder clearly called for the ball. And as it took off, Stanley backs off. See the left fielder, all of a sudden he looked at him like, I don't have it, Steve. And
Stanley will get it.
He never called it until right there when he said, okay, I got it. But until then, the left fielder had called it. If pick him up from the beginning of the fly ball, we'd see that.
This one is hit to straightaway center field, and it's going to drop. Another base hit for Cooper. And you could see the left fielder Stavisky being forced back by the wind, and at the end took a couple of real quick choppy steps. He wasn't going to catch that ball. And it is picking up to left. That looked like a routine fly ball, and it just went and went and went. And this is Brian Hall, their best base stealer, who comes in as a pinch runner for Cooper.
You know, so often we've talked about here in Omaha, you got to continue almost every pitch, check the wind to make sure it's not swirling, it's constantly changing directions.
Gagne checking throw over to first. O'Riordan line to center his last time up. Hit the ball hard, but he's 0 for 3. Hall, a really good base stealer, and they pitch out. The wind now over 15 miles an hour. It's a neat little device, isn't it?
Yeah, I like that.
Wish we had that with us to play golf tomorrow. It's always nice to know how hard it's blowing and where it's going. Another great night for baseball out here in Omaha. Just beautiful weather conditions. Got it from Gagne, throw over, and they got him at first base. Hall, who was their best base stealer, really upset with the call. He thought he sneaked back, but he's picked.
Well, the way the first baseman went to tag him, he almost indicated that he had missed him, and then he went back again. So often if you watch infielders, they'll tell you if they think they got a guy or not. Watch the tag here. He goes down, and then he's going to go back after him again. He actually snuck in and around him.
And that's why he was arguing. And that's why it's so important. Driven down in the corner, Stavisky is going to make the throw to second base, and O'Riordan is in there with a double. Watch Hall. He knows he's out if he goes straight back into the bag. He pulls his hands out.
He was running on the play, but the first baseman tells you, after he went back after him again, you knew he didn't get him. Anytime, if you're the first baseman in this situation, just swipe and get on out of there and start to throw it around, and the umpire's going to give it to you. But if you go back after the guy, more often, you're going to realize that he was safe.
And you remember Mr. O'Riordan, who walks from the right field foul pole to the left field foul pole. I'm not sure he was where he was on that one, but hopefully he saw his son get a double. And that pickoff turns out to be a huge play. It was the second out. And now Quentin, who has a solo home run on the night, swing and a miss. As Gagne changed speeds on him.
And I like the fact that O'Riordan challenged on that play to get to second. You always want to get to second with 2 outs if you can. There's nothing wrong with trying to force that issue right there by O'Riordan.
There's Mr. O'Riordan. Always seems to have the same look on his face, regardless of whether it's going good or not.
Yeah. Well, I got some Air Jordans today. Send these down to him.
He's got to be exhausted after a ball game. You get one of those 3.5-hour jobs out here. He's walked for 3.5 hours. A little refreshment on the way. Well, he's not jogging, but he is walking. I'll take my hat off to him for that. 1-1 from Gagne. Another change is low.
Lucky they're not playing that old Cleveland Stadium. He'd be putting on some miles walking down at Old Memorial in Cleveland.
A brief pause for Mr. O'Riordan. Gagne trying to hold him close here in the 8th. Runner at second with 2 out. Hit to straightaway center. Stanley going back on it. Now drifts toward left center. And he makes the catch on the track. 2 outs for Stanley in the inning, his 6th of the ball game. Stanford strands a runner at second. One of the few controversial calls we have had here in Omaha.
ESPN's presentation of the NCAA College World Series is brought to you by your neighborhood 7-Eleven store. Oh, thank heaven for 7-Eleven.
Welcome back to the College World Series. We have a good one for you. Stanford on top of Notre Dame 4-3 as we go to the bottom of the 8th. And we've got a new left fielder, Brian Hall, who pinch ran in the last inning and was picked off first. And the replay showed he got back, even though he was called out.
I always felt like pinch running was the most pressure. Everybody expects you to run. You can't make a mistake. That's why you're in.
Dan Rich starts Bushy off with an inside pitch. He caught the corner. 4, 5, 6 men in the order here in the 8th for Notre Dame. That was in the dirt.
For a lot of you viewers who don't watch college baseball that much, lefty-righty matchups, they don't come into play in college baseball very often. They let the kids swing. If you're left-handed and face a lefty, oh well.
Bushy is 0 for 3 today. Takes that one up and in 2-1.
I think that is just terrific. They let them play, Mike.
It's the only way they learn, the only way they get better. Goes after a high fastball and fouls it straight back on the roof. 2-2.
I just think it's so much garbage in the big leagues by the time you get up there and all of a sudden now you can't hit. You've hit your whole life against a left-hander and all of a sudden, well, you're left-handed, we're going to pinch hit for you. It doesn't make any sense to me.
There is something different about left-handers, though, isn't there?
Yes, there is.
This one's fouled back out of play. Paul O'Toole is scheduled to hit next. He's also a lefty, and then the switch hitting Matt Bach. Quite a few lefties in the Notre Dame lineup, so Rich out of the bullpen is a pretty good call. Right back to the mound, and Rich 3/4 of the way to first base with a little shovel toss, one gone. Tomorrow, 2:15 on ESPN. It's Sosa and the Cubs against Rodriguez and the Rangers in this week's edition of Wednesday afternoon baseball. Then at 7 o'clock, Darren Erstad and the Angels against Jim Edmonds and the Cardinals at ESPN 2 at 10. Nomar Garcia-Parra and the Red Sox in San Diego to battle Ryan Plesko and the Padres. Major League Baseball all day on ESPN and ESPN 2. Paul O'Toole, the left-handed hitting catcher who singled his last time up. Trying to get something started in the Notre Dame 8th. They're down by a run. This was the same score as the opening round game that Stanford won, 4-3. And in that game as well, Stanford got out in front early and stayed there. Check swing foul. 1-1.
I can't get over O'Riordan's dad and walking all over the place, and Marcus walks up and down the dugout. So if they get together, they don't sit down for a cup of coffee. They probably go for a nice little stroll.
That's right. There's Mr. O'Riordan. That one missed low and outside. 2-1. Well, you'd hope they'd sit down and talk to each other. Fastball fouled straight back. Had a nice cut at that one.
Really did.
If you missed Dave Ryan's stories, plural, earlier, as you take a look at this one, nice. And when you see it come straight back, you get a rip. Mr. O'Riordan walks constantly from the right field foul pole to the left and back. Struck him out. Rich came in with a fastball, and Mark Marquis never sits down. Just paces up and down that dugout. Nice fastball there. from Rich.
Well, you can see why they wanted to get Rich in the ball game. He's got great stuff. He has really come in and shut down this Notre Dame lineup. They had a couple rallies 2 innings in a row, and since he's come in the game, they haven't done much.
Ken Meyer, the senior from Fort Myers, Florida, will come on to pinch hit with 2 out and nobody on. 270 hitter, has a couple of home runs this year. Hitting for Bach, the designated hitter.
He's looking to lock and load right here. He's just trying to get a pitch and drive it into those seats. Get it up in the wind, you got a shot.
And you might wonder why they pinch hit for a switch hitter. Well, Bach is better from the left side. So they get him out in favor of a better right-handed hitter. 1-1 to Ken Meyer. Foul away. Good fastball on the outside part of the plate. 1-2. Been impressed with the Stanford pitching. Hudgens started off. Dan Rich came on. And that was Steve Stanley, who was just hoping for another opportunity. Somebody has to get on in order to get his leadoff slot back up in the 9th. If Notre Dame goes quietly here in the 8th.
And it's interesting watching how Dan Rich is pitching right here. He is saying if you want to hit one of the left field seats, you're going to have to reach all the way out and hook a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. So he's staying outside on him. Hasn't shown him a breaking pitch, anything on the inside half. And that might be what this conversation is about right now. Change the pattern up a little bit, and he's saying, no, we're going to stay outside, either Garco or Rich, whoever's making that decision.
It's Tom Kunis, the veteran pitching coach for the Cardinal. He's a good one. He's developed some great arms out there. A little bit low. Full count to the pinch hitter, Ken Meyer, with Chris Billmeyer on deck. Two out, nobody on in the 8th. Hit to straightaway center field. Full, started back, now drifting back toward the track with plenty of room, and makes the catch. We've played 8 full. It's a 1-run Stanford lead.
Stanford 1-run lead on J.P. Gagne, the ace reliever of the Fighting Irish, and Notre Dame hoping for another College World Series victory. J.P.'s dad, Greg, up in the stands with it. 18 years as an AWA professional wrestler. How would the big stage of the College World Series compare with some of your big matches you got to wrestle in as a tag team partner?
Well, I did with Jim Brunsell. I wrestled in Shea Stadium before 46,000 people. So, you know, we're used to big arenas, but this is a great atmosphere for college baseball. A little nerve-wracking here with JP on the mound. This is his 3rd game in a row here, and hope he can get this team out and we can come back here in the bottom of the 9th and win this thing.
How can he handle the pressure? You know your son well. This is a big moment.
He's pretty good under pressure. You know, it's coaching him up over the years. We talked about, you know, pressure is something you put on yourself, and that's something he usually won't do when he comes out. He's pretty calm and collected out there, and hopefully he can get him out of this inning.
Greg's dad, Vern, fan of the AWA, Mike. Pretty famous wrestlers.
Mike Patrick. I got to thank him for some tickets for the family. Michael, thank you very much.
Greg, you're very welcome, buddy. And Vern, who is the young pitcher JP's grandfather, one of the original stars in wrestling, known for the sleeper hold. You just take a nice little short nap when you wrestled against him. JP trying to hold him close. Dragicevic will lead it off. Stanford would love to manufacture a run here and give them some breathing space.
I can't believe you fell for that, Mike. He was actually working you. He had the ESPN shirt on, got tickets from you. I mean, that, don't you know those guys are marketing guys?
He's got the good voice too, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
Two and one. Lined fair into the right field corner. Billmeyer's going to have to chase that one down. Dragicevic on his way to second turns and goes back and holds with a stand-up double.
Well, if you're Notre Dame, that's the last thing you want to see is a double to start the inning. That gives Stanford so many options. And if you're Stanford, tremendous piece of hitting. It's a ball in the outside half. Just slap that slider. You can't defend that if you're saying, well, how can they allow him a double? You should be playing no doubles. That's perfectly placed. There's nothing you can do to defend that ball.
Dragicevic with his first hit today.
He lined out to first last time at the first baseman. Remember the ball?
Drilled it.
Yes.
And Van Zandt now, his job is just one thing. Get that guy to third.
A lot of times you'll see that spin move right there because you want to see if the batter is going to tip off that he's bunting or not. Now, I'm surprised the third baseman isn't in closer in this situation. May as well just come in on the grass. If he bunts, you want to bunt this ball to third. Make the third baseman field the ball.
Bunted toward first. Gagne will make the play at first. His sacrifice perfectly executed. And a runner at third with one out.
Great piece of execution. It's one of the few times we've watched a guy really get the bunt down. I know a few teams have struggled here, but he did a great job fundamentally to let that ball come to him and just touch it down.
Kalita working for Notre Dame. Gagne is in his third consecutive game out of the bullpen for Notre Dame. Stanford has had the leadoff batter on 3 times tonight. Each time he has scored.
Well, Mike, if you look back, the Clemson games, even the games that Clemson won, the 8 and 9 hitter were the 2 disruptive ones that messed up the other teams they were playing against. They walked, they got little dribblers, little things like that. And the same thing's happening here in the Stanford game. You want to stay away from the 1, 2, and 3 in this lineup, as hot as they are with men in scoring position.
And most of the coaches will tell you, in order to win this thing, we need the 8, 9 guys to come through and set the table for the top of the order. Because the top of the order only starts the ball game in the first inning. After that, it's up to the other guys to get them back up with men in scoring position. So Topham has a chance to drive in an insurance run. Gagne just missed with a breaking ball.
Topham, one of those seniors that knows how to handle the bat. You may see a squeeze in this situation also. Do anything to try to get that run across.
We've seen a couple out here this week that have not been executed very well. Here it comes.
Oh, what a great piece. Oh, what a great play by O'Toole.
Paul O'Toole. He's got to get to that ball while it's an inch foul. And he did.
Wow, what a great play. Maneri's going to argue that he's out of the batter's box. There's no way that he stayed in the box to get that. That's a pitch out, and he has a good argument.
It looked like he did step out in order to touch that ball.
But what a play by O'Toole. Let's look at it. This is a tremendous play all the way around. Let's see if the batter stays in the box. I don't know how you can give him that. Oh, my goodness.
His right foot was behind home plate. Watch O'Toole.
I mean, that is just to think about that. Now, that's out of the batter's box.
It's a very bright play and a very athletic play and a hustle play by Paul O'Toole.
They may come back-to-back squeeze play right here.
It's 1-1. Dragicevic down at third. That one's in the dirt. Good block by O'Toole.
Think about all the variables that happen in that play. To call the pitch out, for Topham to go ahead and go out and get the pitch out, to get the ball down, and the play by O'Toole. 3 great plays in one.
And he's got to take the chance to get the bat on it. Do anything he can to get the bat on it.
That's right.
Yesterday, Rice had a chance for an insurance run against Notre Dame. They failed to execute a squeeze play in the 9th. Now it's 2-1. 3-1. Well, 3-1. Do you try it again?
I don't try it because I got the left-hander on deck over there who can swing the bat, who's been very hot. And I got an infield drawn in with 3-1 count. I'm hoping my senior knows his own strike zone well enough to get a good pitch and drive it.
Is there management in your future? They try it again, and it works perfectly. The squeeze by Topham gets the insurance run home.
Marcus knew they had to deliver a strike. That's why he went ahead and called on a 3-1 situation. That's a great time to squeeze. I still wouldn't have done it, but that's why I'm sitting here, and he's coaching at Stanford. Tremendous bunt. That's still a tough pitch to get down. Watch him go down and get this.
Right at his shoe top.
I mean, that's a ball that's going to bounce.
Well, that's why I asked on 3-1. You figured you've got to get a pretty decent pitch, although it turned out it wasn't. And now back to the top of the order for Carter. Notre Dame on top 5-3. So the bottom third of the order comes up with a double, a sacrifice bunt, then a squeeze bunt to produce a run. That is tremendous execution, tremendous coaching on the part of the Stanford Cardinal. You can't say anything else.
Great play. I mean, great coaching. You know, knowing your players, he had to know that Topham's going to be able to handle the bat too, regardless of the situation. He's going to handle it for him.
Boy, did he ever! That one's on the corner for a called strike. So now Notre Dame down by 2. We're in the Stanford top of the 9th.
Gutsy call, man. It paid off. I had a feeling he would try it twice, but I didn't think 3-1 would be the count.
2-2, fastball right in there. Well, they don't necessarily go by the book out here, but as you say, they know their kids. They know the opposition. They scout each other very well. And they've got their own philosophies, and the guys that are here have philosophies that work.
Well, the squeeze play is a play that you want to use as an element of surprise. 3-1 count, there was enough surprise that it's going to execute. Obviously, the other one, it was a situation where they felt, they being Notre Dame, felt like Stanford would try it because they pitched out.
But they were thinking with you, they're not going to try it later. Swing and a miss, strike 3. But the insurance run is home for Stanford. And we'll go to the bottom of the 9th. Stanford has taken a 2-run lead on the squeeze play, perfectly executed by the Cardinal.
Wow. He's out of
We have already had our share of 9th inning fireworks at the College World Series. Can Notre Dame do it again? The numbers would tell you no, because Stanford is 39-0, leading after 8 innings. The top 3 hitters in the order, we place so much emphasis on that at the beginning, 5 out of 10. And now Rich will face the bottom third of the order. Chris Billmeyer will lead it off, the right fielder. He is 1 for 2 with a walk. That run in the top of the 9th is huge.
And Mike, how important has the leadoff man been for both these teams? Stanford has scored 4 times when their leadoff man has got on, and Notre Dame's leadoff man has scored 3 times.
It never seems to fail. You get that first guy on, you put so much pressure on the defense. And at least psychologically, it's a big advantage. And there's the guy who was hoping for another opportunity, Steve Stanley, who was scheduled to hit 4th in this inning. He needs some help to get up. Lined right at the second baseman, O'Riordan, and comes up and throws him out.
Well, I like that play because he didn't hear the umpire's call right away. Actually, the first base umpire made the call, but he's so far away and the crowd is loud, you go ahead and play it out anyway. Now, he catches this ball in the air all the way. Watch him look for an umpire, and then he says, you know what? I'm going to just throw him out.
Might as well make sure while you're there.
Absolutely.
1 out. Hit on the button, but right at the second baseman, Chris O'Riordan. This one is hit hard, but foul by Javier Sanchez.
And how about the little move that Coach Marcus made before the game started, flipping Van Zandt and Toppin in the order?
Really worked out, didn't it? Lined again. Screamer this time down into the Stanford bullpen.
In our meeting this morning at 9:30 in the morning, he had Topham hitting 8th and Van Zandt hitting 9th, and all of a sudden we get here in the evening, he flip-flops them, and who ends up making the squeeze play and hitting the double? Those two guys.
Well, let's not encourage him to make changes once we get the lineups written, all right? 0-2, missed outside with a fastball. Notre Dame has come from behind 22 times this year. So it's strength against strength. Hit to deep left and foul.
That is the first pitch that I have seen as you look at Karen Maneri in the green there with the daughter on the left.
Hoping that the Irish in this magical season can come from behind. They had to win at Florida State 2 out of 3 in the Super Regionals to get here. For the first time since 1957. And Paul Maneri has done a brilliant job in South Bend getting this program to this point. You just get the feeling he would be a fixture here for a long time.
Good man. Good man. He understands college baseball, loves the kids.
Dan Rich trying to close it out. 1-2 hit towards short. Topham. Routine play, 2 gone. And it's all up to Joe Thaman, the number 9 man in the order. And that's the sign you would see coming out of the Notre Dame locker room in football. All the players touch it on the way out. And they have had so many players and so many teams who have played like champions. And this team is a champion. They won the regional, they won the super regional, they won their conference. Stanley is on deck, desperately hoping for an opportunity to contribute again. His wife Brooke hoping the same thing. Only one team is going to leave Omaha happy. Fastball right down the pipe.
Dan Rich has been lights out,
hasn't he? Been exceptional out of the bullpen, thrown 3 scoreless innings, allowed only 1 hit since coming under relief of John Hudgens. And Mark Marquis said, he's one of my best pitchers, hasn't had a chance here in Omaha. I gotta get him in the ballgame if I can. And he called that one. 1-2.
Mark's had a pretty good day with knowing his players and having a good hunch.
He's hit all the right buttons. 1-2. Thaman hitless in the ballgame, facing Rich, who has allowed 1 hit in 3 innings. Struck him out. Stanford wins and stays alive. What a performance by Rich. Magnificent out of the bullpen, and the dream ends for Notre Dame. This was a great game, partner.
Wow. I mean, they threw, the pitching was dynamite. Doesn't get any better than here in the College World Series. Tremendous job of pitching. Fastball dominating right here. That's the last one. He knows it. It's time to go ahead and relax and celebrate.
And Karen Beneri just can't bear to look after that. And Stanford can celebrate because Rich retired 10 of the 11 hitters he faced in this ball game, and a bunch of good hitters for Notre Dame. Stanford wins it. Notre Dame is eliminated. The Cardinal with yet another opportunity maybe to win a national championship.